What's up, folks? Welcome back to another episode of Utopia. This is Sinulab, and let's get started. So I've been enjoying the work done into this armor. It protects me well. I've felt more secure going caving, which I've done. Been actually trying to look for spawners, but haven't found any yet, so we'll just keep doing that. I did make new pants, however. They're still here, but the speed, as nice as it was, is a constant drain on the power. So just whipping around the base for a while, after about a half hour, 45 minutes or so, the pants would be pretty much empty, if not empty. And once they lose power, they are no longer diamond level protection, they are iron level protection. So I made new pants that just didn't have speed. Maybe I'll get a recharger set up here, a remote recharger, and just wear those around here so I can zip around and have them recharged. But for exploring and whatnot, we'll do without that just so that we can keep the charge there. I did get them up to empowered 3, just some double layer capacitors. I need to make the the 8 level ones for empowered 4, which we'll definitely do. Now the night vision, actually, I learned is connected to a hotkey. So although it's daytime now, if I hit P, turns on night vision. And I've done it at nighttime, and it's pretty nice. Doesn't seem to drain too much off of the helmet either. I had it on for a good little while, and I didn't notice a big dip in the amount of power in here. So that's nice. Not so bad. That'll help too when I'm out and about looking for oh gosh, I wonder what that would look like in caves. Probably make that a whole lot easier, huh? So anyway, we got some good stuff there. I have an essence berry farm that I set up down below. I'll show you maybe sometime I'm down there, but I needed obviously more levels to get these up to empowered 3, and I'm going to need 30 levels per piece to get it up to empowered 4. Jump I may get up to 3 too, or 3 also. The double jump, if I hold the space key down, that's what gives me this double jump. So if I just do a 1 space, it's okay, but if I hold it down, I get a double space. Or maybe I can even tap it fast enough, but it's probably registering the same. So that's pretty cool. I can actually hop up in pretty high places now. I can get out of the pit in my little kill chamber over there without having to build a little step stool out. So that's pretty cool. As we are always, actually, let's see, well, this is new, right? I decided to raise this up a little bit. I didn't like it at the same level as this initial second level we have going on around here is. So I decided to raise it up a little bit. It's got a dip down here just for a little storage area that we'll use to hide all of the artifacts we put down there for stabilization purposes. But our infusion altar will go here. Come on, chunks, load. There we go. Infusion altar will go here, and I'll get the Thaumcraft stuff set up pretty nicely. So yeah, it's a little larger also, or at least a little farther out from the main base. But did some work on that anyway. Didn't do any roof work yet, but goodness, do have to get that done, or started, I should say. But I'm looking at power. Remember last time I talked about not sure if I wanted to have Steve's Factory Manager pump over the charcoal here, or if I wanted to just pump over items and have the charcoal thing built over here. Well, why don't we just get rid of charcoal altogether? Eventually, I wanted to go solar anyway, and I really thought I was going to go down the IC2 route and get those solar power. Well, those solar things aren't from IC2, but they produce EU. That's not how you spell solar. Let's try this again. Solar. Yeah, these guys. They produce EU, so that's how I got my solar in the last world, and then I would use electric engines to convert that to RF when I needed it for all my RF stuff. Well, so far, all we're running off is RF. We don't really have a need for EU. Applied Energistics also works off of RF just fine, so I don't need EU. Ender.io offers up some solar possibility here. And it just so happens that their advanced one, which appears to be as high as it goes, produces a maximum of 40 RF per tick, at least during daylight hours, right? Which is fine, which is great. It actually matches up nicely with the engines that we have here, because each of these is putting out 40 RF per tick right now. So I'm going to need at least 8 of these solar arrays to at least keep up with the RF per tick that we're producing when charging. That's going to take nothing I don't have, and nothing I don't have, at least with these components. Micronaut's got just a bunch of ender pearls, so I don't really have a shortage of those. Quartz, however, which is needed for these enlightened diffused quartz and the daylight sensors, is going to be something that I'm going to need to have to go to the nether and collect. But that's okay, we've got much better armor now, so we're in a much better safe place that we can survive some of what the nether has to offer. I'm certainly not going to claim to be able to survive a nitro blast to the face, but let's hopefully not have that happen. So I want to get solar started, which means actually we're going to need to increase the capacity of our power. One redstone's not going to do it. I'm thinking 2 resonant, and because this, of course, the solar's only going to be charging during the day, and at nighttime and or during the rain, we're not going to be charging, so we need to have a bunch stored up. So I'm thinking 2 resonant ender, and I'm thinking just an on-off switch for the quarry if we get to 50% or low, or 50% or below, which I'll just measure if a battery has any power output or not. Oops. May not need the comparator for that now because I don't need to detect a range of signal strength, just that if there is any. So if it gets down below 50%, we'll have Steve's factory come under here, and or maybe a redstone thing that it'll do. That might be less expensive on the resources to turn this on and off, so I don't have to manually do this. That'll be nice. That'll be a nice thing. I think I want to work toward that. There's a lot involved there with conversion and whatnot, so I think what we're going to do is do it piece by piece. Just collect the quartz first. I do want to do some disenchanting too. Some of these armors that I've been collecting have got some nice enchants. We've got Blast Protection 3. We've got some last stands here that I can pull off and duplicate in that printing press. So I want to get that going too, in addition to all the work here I want to do. But anyway, let me get started on things, and I'll be back when I've got something going on. Hey folks, so I do have an update on the bees. We're actually doing very well. Unweary, we are golden. We have a pristine prime stock going, not prime, but pure stock going on here, so they're just repeating themselves. Kind of slow, they're only a reproduction of 2. Future pure diligence, actually, I meant pristine. I've got the tolerant queen, well, it happened to get some tolerant, it's doing some mutations, but we're plugging in these pure diligence. We've got pure diligent going on over here on an ignoble stock, so I'm just going to run this until this queen dies off. And then with the drones we get, we're working on converting this was a rocky pristine queen. We're just, this is like the 3rd iteration through. It's actually a half-breed, it's got diligent on the second half. So we're going to have a pristine, pure diligent very soon. And then after that, what do we got going on? After that, we mix the diligent and the unweary to get the industrious, which is one of the 2 bees that we need to really get started here. Imperial comes after that, and then we'll be getting our pollen and our royal jelly. Make a rainmaker so we can stop it from raining, that'll help. Or I might just start getting into some genetic work. I do have a lot of extra bees that I can melt down to DNA, and that would also actually require a lot more power because it is pretty power intensive for those machines. So let's just put that on the back burner right now on thought and get back to what we talked about earlier. Alright folks, we got quite a few nether quartz there, and if I did my math right, we only need 11 per advanced solar. We need 4 each for these, and then 3 to make this. So we only need 88 of this to get the 8 that we need done, so we do have enough there for that. That's good. I'll get started on all the mats to make this, in addition to starting work on the Enderium energy cells. I only have 5 ender pearls, but I know Micronaut's got 128 plus stacks, so I'm going to go raid his base for some ender pearls and get started. Alright folks, we have the resident energy cells complete. This guy's charging up. This guy's just doing a little pass through. Figure out how to rearrange them and realign them when we get this converted. Actually going to lose all of this, aren't we? The solar panels are definitely going to be going up on that floor because you can't block the sunlight from solar panels. That somewhat renders them useless. So let's get started on those. You know, it probably makes more sense to keep this here and as a last resort backup, have it fire on. You can have the solar panels up there feeding just directly into this and shut off the quarry if this gets empty, fire on the emergency engines if this gets empty. I think that would probably be a better idea. So I need 16 of these vibrant crystals, right? Taking in an emerald. Only got 4 emeralds. That's a few short. So I'm thinking, head back to that village, snag up our little wheat trading guy that I guess now wants wool. Fortunately, we still have lots of cotton. Which means I need another name tag. I'm going to bring him back here and keep him for some trading of emeralds since I need some emeralds. Alright folks, we have our new villager Moss here. Doesn't want to do this trade now, so let's just do this once and see if we can unlock that back to clear up the... looks good. Nice. So I'm going to get some emeralds. Wow, he's happy about that. How many do I need? I need like 12. How many am I going to get away with? Oh, you're stuck at 9. Okay. Alright, let me get more string. Hey folks, so the sun's about to come up, but I thought I'd show you what the night vision looked like. You can see pretty good. It's not so bad. Alright folks, we have all the parts needed for 8 of these advanced photovoltaic cells. Excellent. So starting to do some digging up around here, figuring out how I want to rewire this. But I'm going to dig a little hole up there, put these up there, get it all connected up, and see what we end up with. Thinking about the signal too to the quarry for the on-off with one of these resident cells. So it's the next day for me, and I log in and see this. Mr. Lord Evil J has left us some bee stuff. Very nice. Marshy, a pristine, and some comments. Excellent. Some proven frames. He must have found a village. Gladly take these, because we are, in fact, working on bees. And we've got some good news with bees, too. We have got Pure Unweary, pristine, just doing great. 56 drones, need some frames in there. And Diligent in pristine stock here also. Nice and perfectly pure. We're doing good there. So our next one is Industrious. And actually, since I made the pristine with the drones I was getting off of the ignoble I was working on, this is already a Diligent. So we can take some of our unweary drones here. Let's see, let's do 6. That seems to be a good number so far for some things. And let's get these guys out of here. And we'll try and get our Industrious going here. It's a mutation between these two. So let's see what we get. You know, use this ignoble while we can. So there we go. Doing great on bees. I think it's the industrious that brings us the pollen. Yeah, so here, I don't know if I ever showed this off, but I've got this automated. I just drop all my combs in here and they come over here. The results of here get dropped into here and then ultimately sorted. And I guess this is the first time I've gotten some silky propolis. So it's got nowhere to go. Looks like I need another barrel here. Okay, we'll work on that. But I have completed the engine modification. We have got ourselves 8 solar panels up here. I'm going to pretty this up somehow also, but I have a feeling I'm going to rearrange this because I am going to be adding some more solar panels to increase the per tick output when I can get the sunlight out, you know. So, but it is just feeding directly into the pipe. Now goes underground here and feeds into this cell. This cell feeds into this one, and this one goes out to the rest of the system like it always has. Unfortunately, I did have to do some reprogramming, but I kind of knew that when I got into it. I thought it looked pretty cool with the glass here, so we could kind of see what's going on. But basically, if this guy runs empty, this will trigger this emitter to go on, which, because it's under IO redstone cabling, shares the same cable with the power one that I already have going on through here. Needs to go around the battery, that's all right. Still sharing the same hole, didn't have to modify anything. But it right now is sending a signal to this tesseract. It doesn't look like it's connecting, but it is in fact working. Right now I've just got the lever here on as an override because I wanted to save the actual seeing this work for camera. So I should be able to have, turn this off. This should actually just go on because we've got both batteries full. Excellent, excellent. Now this might actually be running because I don't think anyone's been on the server yet today, so Digger isn't loaded. Let me do that real quick, I'll be back. Okay, I am back, and let's try this again. So nothing was coming through before, let's flick this on. There we go, we're starting to get stuff coming in from Digger. So, while that's running, of course we've got Steve's Factory Manager every second checking these batteries. So if this one runs out, it's going to signal this redstone emitter to turn on, which will send that signal over there and turn off the tesseract. And then it won't allow the quarry to be turned back on until this is completely full. So for the normal operation of the quarry, we have, if it's greater than 14, you know, it goes through 1 through 15, we'll turn the quarry on. If that's false, then if it's not greater than 0, it's basically how you have to do it. You can't just say, is it less than? You have to do it greater than not it. But if it's not greater than 0, it'll turn off the quarry. So that's kind of nice. That's kind of nice. It won't like turn on immediately after it gets a little bit of power to get it past a threshold, you know. And then we've got this other one that if the other battery, and that's all the same thing that worked before with the Steve's Factory Manager feeding in the coal, you've seen that. But if this battery gets to 50%, which means overall power is at 25%, which is why it's labeled like this, it will then, you know, checking, see if it's 8. So 1 through 15, 8 is basically 50%. If it's, you know, it's checking for if it's greater than 8 and nodding it again. It'll just put in the coal to all the generators like it did before. So that's very good. We should actually never have these generators run if the detection of this dude is doing his thing. And I don't have to flick that lever anymore. It just turns itself on and off. Judging, you know, it's all good. It's all automated. It's one less thing I got to do, right? All right, so we got bees going. We got that done. I don't even have to worry about that. I don't even have to make coal in or charcoal anymore. And I've got another barrel over here that is just basically completely full. All right, so anyway, what else? I think that's the update. Let's get to it. Hey folks, it certainly does take a long time to drain one of these cells. A lot of time. It's been about a half an hour, but anyway, I did correct the text here so it was matching the other one. If it's greater than 8, false. it'll put the charcoal in. It's a good thing too because this was wrong. For testing purposes, I had it 14 and 15, and it's a good thing I was doing that. Otherwise, the other thing wouldn't have been corrected. Would have probably found it eventually, but now I know everything's coded right, and I'll be back when this drains. I just want to make sure that this fires on when it should, and fires off when it should. Hey folks, so it's now an hour later, and it's almost empty. It is amazing, amazing, amazing how long this takes to drain. I almost wonder if I'm going to hit bedrock before this thing empties out. But, whoa, lag spike there. But in the meantime, as I've been waiting for this, I did manage to upgrade all of my armor to Empowered 4. That helped drain some more power, because you don't seem to retain power when you upgrade it, which is kind of a shame, but that's alright. Essence Farm downstairs provided me with the levels that I needed. Still doing great on there. And in fact, with bees here, we're doing excellent. We did have some mutations on our side to the point where we have a pure industrious drone. After a couple of more cycles through, the queen just became a pure diligent again, so I just snagged another pure unweary from our goods stack, and am starting with that again to just get some more drones before I try and get this a growing beeline. So anyway, that's the update. I'm probably going to just get this thing to empty and show this firing on when it should, and make this the end of the episode. It's starting to get about that time, and this is taking a lot longer, and I know it's going to take just as long to fill up before we'll see it fire. Oh, don't hit that. Wow, that sounds like I broke it, but it doesn't look like I broke it. Yeah, I'm not going to wait for this to fill up and see this turn back off for you guys, but I'll be back when this is about ready to fire. Hey folks, I missed it by just seconds. I was thinking that if it dropped below 500,000, it would turn off, because that's, 500,000 is 1%. And if it dropped below that, maybe it wouldn't emit a strength of 1, but that was misguided judgment. Yeah, right about now, just under 3 million RF stored up in this cell. I turned off that comparator, so now that we don't get any signal here, we turned this emitter on, which turned this signal on over yonder, and that turned off the quarry. Very good. The override here is still in the off position, so that's not it. And very good. So the quarry is now auto turned off when our battery reaches basically empty, and therefore I'm very confident that the code will turn this back off once this reaches full capacity. Still not. Oh, I bet you it's because I've got honeycombs that are doing their thing. So anyway, that's good news. Quarry is going to turn itself on and off when we have power and when we don't. So don't you have to do that manually anymore. But I think that's going to wrap it up for this episode now. Between this episode and next, I'm going to continue working on bees. I also started working on Noble. I had some drones already that had Noble half-breed just from my workings before, so I'm going to try and get some more Noble drones going here. It's just a cultivated ignoble stock princess that I had left over, so we'll use her for that, for purposes of getting some drones, and working on the industrious drones more than this, so that we can get those lines going with some pristine bees. Anyway, folks, I hope you enjoyed. Next time, I am going to work on getting enchantments off of the armor and duplicating that and all that good stuff. Hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next time. Have a good one. Bye.